Hello, everybody at River City Nissan. This is Deanna, your coach with Phone Ninjas, and today I'm going to be reviewing your reporting for the month of August. Now, as a team here, you're at a 2.27, so our first goal is to get everyone above a 3.0. That's the benchmark that we're shooting for. And as you can see, your team's doing a great job with their greeting, which is one of the big rocks that we've been talking about. The other two big rocks is the contact information step and also the direction step. On every call, we just want to cover directions just to make sure the customer knows where the dealership is located. So I want them to continue to focus on those two steps, but they are doing a nice job with the selling the appointment technique and even asking for the tentative appointment and setting some appointments. We want to get this appointment setting rate to a 60%. So that's what we're working towards. And as you can see, Emmy's done a great job reviewing all of her calls, so she's done a really good job there, and you can see that out of the 5 calls that she had, she did have an appointment that was set, and they showed up and they purchased a vehicle. Now, as Brody and Rinder review their calls, which they still need to do, we want them to also mark whether or not, for Rinder here, if they purchased the vehicle. It looks like he did mark that they showed up for the dealer, for the appointment. He needs to go back and make sure that he's actually typing in the secret code. So it looks like he's listened to it or he's looked at it, but what we want to do is make sure that we are typing in the secret code right here and clicking submit, and that's going to show that he's reviewed his calls. So you just want to make sure that we're staying on top of reviewing calls. And in addition to reviewing calls in a timely manner, we also want to make sure everyone's staying on top of their certifications. This is part of the training process. So in addition to reviewing coach calls, we also want to make sure that we're going in and maintaining the certification. So what this is that if the customer or if the sales representative scores below a certain percentage, it's going to uncertify them, and that's just a reminder that they need to go back and review that technique, and because they haven't mastered it yet, so they need to go back and watch the video and take the short certification quiz. So you can see here the videos that Emmy has, and also you can see that we have the outbound videos that she has that she needs to go back and watch. And that's another bit of feedback for your team. We have not had any outbound calls placed through the Phone Ninja system since June, I believe. And so let's make sure everyone is going through getting their certifications with the outbound videos, and then also we want to make sure that we're placing those calls in the as you can see, Brody has, so we just want to make sure that everyone's done that. But we want to make sure that we're using the Phone Ninja system here to make our outbound calls. And so that's where you just type in what we want the number to be on caller ID. We want to type in the customer's phone number, or the dealership's phone number, and then or the number that they're going to be using, and then also the customer's phone number. Because what happens is once we type all that in and we hit make a call, it's going to call their phone number here. So if it's their cell phone or their desk phone, it's going to call this number first. We're going to answer it, and then it's going to dial into the destination number, and that's the recording element. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of that, and we are making those outbound calls. If you can actually take a look here and see where your outbound calls are, and when we click on this, you can see the last call we had was the training call I had with Rinder back in June. So we just want to make sure that we are doing those prospecting calls and trying to generate some prospecting opportunities there and some sales for your dealership. So let's make sure that we're utilizing that. I'm sure they're making outbound calls. We just want to make sure that we're using the system so we can coach them so they can, they can do their best when making those outbound calls to customers. Now, in addition to the inbound and outbound, we do have some mystery shops. Oops, that was the wrong one. That was service mystery shops, and we want sales mystery shops. And as you can see, Johnny does a lot of those mystery shops, and right now he's at a 1.13. He still needs to review those as well, so we want to take care of that so that his mystery shops. Now, Johnny does a great job, but we just want to make sure the quality is there, that we're covering all of our bases, and we have a good impression with the customer. So let's just make sure that we're taking care of reviewing those calls and the mystery shops. Now we can take a look at some of our reporting, where your dealership is ranked out of like 200 and some dealerships. Right now you guys are ranked number 157. That's with a 2.27, and as you can see, that's out of 236 dealerships, and we want you guys to get up here to a 3.0, which will put you in our top 100. And then ultimately, we just want to continue to work on getting up to the top 4. If you get up to the top 4, that puts you into the top dealership contest. And so every month we take our top dealerships, put them into a drawing, and in January we'll pick a name from the hat, and that individual dealership will win a trip to Hawaii. You can award it to whomever you'd like. But then for the individual sales representatives, we have the perfect score contest. And so every time they get a perfect score, their name gets put into the hat, and every quarter we pick a name from the hat, and that individual will win a trip to Hawaii. So we want to make sure that we are, working towards that 5.0, not just, and it's not just for the score, it's not just for the contest, but we really want to make sure the customers are having a great experience and that we are being effective and efficient in handling those inbound, outbound, and mystery shops, so that ultimately these can lead to more appointments and more sales at your dealership. And of course, if you do want to just take a look and continue to monitor, your outbound calls and your outbound activity by employee, you can definitely take a look at this report as well if you want to. And I'll continue to try to follow up through one-on-ones as well. I'll always tell them on the one-on-ones that they remind them to make those outbound calls and let them know that we're not seeing them and ask them to do that. So I do cover that when I do have one-on-ones with your team. And if you have any questions, my contact information is here at the top of the screen. Feel free to use it. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.